I just didn't get here overnight, but it's been a lot,
journey.
but it's drive, and you got to stay hungry, and you got to know what you want and, what you bring into the world and, value yourself and don't be afraid of trying new things.
Welcome back to another Inspired Talks podcast episode. And I'm super excited for today because we got special guests, a real special guest, another special guest, my guy, Devuyo Marcelin, the owner of Orbit Realty. My guy, super excited to see you, man.
Hey, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to support.
Yo, just to get Devuyo over here to Miami, I'm sure it was how was that?
This is a drive. I pulled up. You sent me the address like last night or this morning. I was like, damn, an hour?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he's all the way where you're in Delray now or Boca.
Delray, Boca, bounce around. But I don't come this far south.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. It's a privilege to have you on. I just want to get right into how we actually met, man. We actually met back in 2020, early 2020.
2020, Jesus, yes.
And that was through our barber.
Chad.
Bro.
My haircut, Chad. Shout out, Chad. Yo, Chad came to the house the other day. House call for my 5-year wedding anniversary with my wife.
Yo, congrats.
My barber flaked on me, and Chad, I was like, yo, can you come get me? He was like, X amount. I could pull up. I was like, yo, Chad, come through. I need you.
He came through.
Came to the house, gave me a haircut right in my living room, and took care of your boy.
Oh, my God.
So I definitely appreciate him, and I definitely value and appreciate him for just this introduction and connecting me with you guys. You guys have been amazing, even with my business.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to talk about, just the power of networking, because I know that just the fact that, we're connected to Chad and he was able to connect us, we were able to do so much amazing things for your business, and you have just been an amazing friend to us and just on our, soon to be real estate journey.
Yes.
Home ownership journey. Woo-hoo. So, I just want to talk about how has networking been, pivotal in your life or on your entrepreneur journey?
Networking for me is everything. Now it's a little bit different because I have a wife, I have kids, so I can't get out as much as I need to. And just recently, I went to an event with my wife. She's a really good friend that is a professional UFC fighter. He invited her out. Wow. They grew up childhood friends. He wrestled with, her older brother. And we went to his fight over at the Gulfstream.
Oh, yes.
Racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just an amazing opportunity to be out, passing out business cards, talking to people. And it drives me crazy that I don't have enough time to do that anymore as much as I used to. But networking is everything. Just being able to sit here with you, and just be able to film this and, be able to network with other people.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. So you're working even out there, bro?
Listen, when you're an entrepreneur, you're always working. And the thing about it is if you do what you love, it's not work. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it.
I agree. And just to speak to that, how have you, as a father now of 3, right? Three girls.
3 baby girls.
He is a daddy's girl of 3. It's being a husband. And now, starting your own brokerage company, Orbit Realty. Shout out to them.
Yes.
How long has it been now since you launched?
We launched in January, and it was just one of the things you have to rip the Band-Aid off and just go do it, And I feel like a lot of the time as entrepreneurs or just people, we let fear dictate our decisions. And that was the thing. It was scary, but I've grown to enjoy fear every day, wondering if I'm gonna be able to pay the bills this month or I could cover daycare. It drives you. You have to take the fear away and allow it to drive you and motivate you to be better and hungry.
Yeah. And what are some of the things that helps you deal with those ups and downs? Because I know personally it's tough, being an entrepreneur in the sense of figuring out, okay, maybe this month it's not gonna look like the next month. And having that safety net, what are the things that you do mentally to prepare for those
There's
moments?
nothing mentally that can prepare you to have 1 month where you make $50,000 or $70,000 on just a couple of transactions, and the next month no transactions, the month after no transactions. Right. There's nothing that could prepare you. I mean, you just have to be better with money and just allow yourself to just do what you do best. But at the same time, those emotional roller coasters, you just have to plan for it. Those days where you're not going to have those transactions. For me, I break down the year. We have 4 quarters in the year, and then just kind of homing into the numbers on what's important and where you have to be overall every day to accomplish your goals.
No, that makes sense. And I know, for you, have you always had this entrepreneur drive or mindset? Have you always wanted to be a realtor or anything like that? Where did that come from?
I don't even know, man. Entrepreneur drive, I feel like that's implanted in me from my dad, my mom, and just, you know, being the youngest out of 7 and seeing all of my older brothers and sisters be entrepreneurs. They all own their own companies, you know, running a private Christian academy. My brother has a security company. You know, my sister has a wedding planning company. Being the youngest, and I'm talking about a huge age difference between me being the young baby brother to my next youngest sibling to me is like 10 years. So I've got a lot of inside scoop on just kind of seeing some of the growing pains they've went through. And just working 9 to 5 was just never really for me. If you've known me in my younger days when I was in college, I bounced around from job to job and different career fields. I literally worked almost every aspect of real estate, from property management all the way, just figuring out what part of real estate I like to get to this point where I'm at today. And now I'm in a different chapter where I'm a brokerage owner. I'm the principal broker for Orbit Realty. And that's a different level of responsibility that I'm doing every day, day in and day out. And I mean, it has its pros and cons, but it's fun. I love it. Orbit people, I love you. I promise you guys are amazing.
I love that. No, I mean, because for me personally, I don't think I ever seen, you know, entrepreneur in my family per se. Like my mom always worked a 9 to 5, you know. I mean, my dad, he wasn't really around, so I wasn't able to see that. But I think for me, what drove, you know, my entrepreneur journey was John C. Maxwell. I remember reading his book when I was in college, and that was my first moment where I was able to read about self-development and mindset and success and what that looks like. So I was always fascinated in that world, and it kind of just drove, you know, who I am today. So that's funny that you mentioned, but I was going to ask you, in terms of now, since you have your own brokerage company, going from, you know, I guess employee of brokerages. I know you were with United before.
United Realty Group. I love them still. Great relationship.
Okay.
It was just a new chapter. And there's one thing for me is I never want to live with regret. You know, I'm 31 years old. How old are you?
26.
Oh my God. Damn, I thought you were older than that.
Bro, I'm 26, man. You're not that far. 31 is not.
Yeah, but man, I love the way you carry yourself. I love it.
Appreciate it.
It's one thing is don't live with regret. I was very comfortable. I was complacent with where I was at. Everything was easy. You know, I brought you guys there. We did a hell of a shoot.
Yeah.
You know, we basically took over the office for the day, and this is a corporate office.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I had lots of opportunities. But at the same time, being where I was, I didn't want to live with regret. And that kind of pushed me to be where I'm at today. And for my daughters, I do it for them. I wanted them to see kind of, you know, I want to give them something. I want them to see something to aspire to be.
Yeah.
You know, daddy did this for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's huge.
No, I love that. And because that's pretty much, you know, why you do what you do every day. You wake up every day, you're on calls. I can't even reach Devuyo, but I can reach him, but I have to call him. I can't text him.
You know, one thing I took away from you though is every time I'd text you, I'd get home late and I'm like, yo, I need to text EJ. And I'm like, do not disturb on. It's like, yo, I gotta do what he's doing. Yeah. I turned that on. I was like,
you don't like that,
I was like, yo, do not disturb it. We're there. Listen, I was like, yes.
Yeah, at a certain time you can't reach me. I just gotta tune out. But I mean, I just know you're a busy man because obviously your husband, your son, you're a business owner. You're doing all the things right now. Like, how do you manage your day to day without going crazy? I'm going crazy. But no, it just goes back to, I mean, I do what I love and I get in trouble sometimes with my wife because she says I don't know how to turn off sometimes. And that's one person that could always ground me. That's the only person in my life other than my kids that could be that grounding rod and that support in that aspect to bring it home hey, you're doing too much, or hey, you're too emotionally invested into this transaction. Wow.
Let's peel it back sometimes. Because, you know, right now I've been dealing with some, you know, a transaction and I'm very passionate about what I do. I love what I do, but I've gotten too emotionally invested and it triggers me sometimes. Not always in the best way, especially when you're helping someone and you have the best interest for them and you got to kind of break it down so they could kind of understand what it is exactly you're doing. And I hate the fact that as an entrepreneur or even a salesperson or a business person, sometimes if you don't spell it out for someone, A, B, C, D, this is everything that I'm doing for you, they're not going to value or appreciate it. You know, even with you, sometimes even when you guys do shoots, you guys have done a lot for me, but I don't understand how much goes into editing and creating the content. You know, I'll tell you some crazy stuff like, AJ, I need this. This is my vision for it. Just make it happen.
For me,
that's an easy task, but for you, you're probably like, this motherfucker don't even know what he's asking for. Like, you want the thirds over here? You want this? I learned that from you, by the way.
Hey, let's go.
Hey, I'm coming, man.
I love it. I see you, man. And no, that's great because we were just speaking about being grounded in certain ways and how we can do that for ourselves. Because, like, sometimes we can take the identity of our business because it is us. Like, we created it. It's our baby. It's like everything. And if we don't have that detachment and know how to do that and separate it, it can take a big toll.
It is very important, and it's, you got to grow. You have to grow into the position of understanding. And I still battle with this, is detaching from my business and let my business be its identity. And I have to be okay with the idea of, if I'm not involved, it's going to be okay. And I get caught up with, that person is not me. I could probably do it better. Yeah. But I still have to allow that individual that's running this, that represents my company, to be able to learn and grow. Else I'm going to hinder him from being the best version of himself. And I have to detach and allow them to grow up and do it, because I didn't get to where I'm at today just by, someone hand feeding me. I wish. But it's a little bit different, and it's hard, especially when it's your baby, your company, everything that you and Britt do, I respect it 100%, and it's hard, but it's growing pains, and your brand has to be its separate identity, and you have to allow it to represent you with your values.
No, I love that. And that's something that we're trying to get better at, separating the two, especially, in the early stages of our business, because, we have so much different ideas. You want to start a podcast, you want shirts, you want to do this, you want to do that. We want to do everything, but we know that we can't right now. So we got to take it day by day and, still enjoy life, you know what I'm saying? So can we talk a little bit about just your story? I remember our first content day, you mentioned about just with your mom, how you were able to see her go through that foreclosure process and almost lost her house. Like,
no, we did lose.
Oh, so you did lose. Oh my God.
We lost our house that my mom bought. It was our forever home, back in the days, Inverry, Lauderhill.
Oh, wow, Lauderhill. Shout out to Lauderhill.
Broward County, I'm Boca boy now, Palm Beach. Hey.
He's a Boca man.
Hey, it's a little bit different. But, everything, it's crazy. It's like, as young, I grew up in that neighborhood, Challenger Elementary, Millennial Middle, West Pine. And, just going through that experience, I remember my mom bought that house. She completely renovated it. It was our house, our 4-bedroom house, pool, everything. It was her dream. It was her American dream, coming over from Jamaica as an immigrant, and worked hard for everything that she had back in the days. She was like a nurse, and she would take care of a lot of old people. I remember my mom never being home. Yeah. She was working a lot, but then just going into just that whole process back in the days with us losing our house, just with like some mortgage fraud and just all the crazy stuff that was going back then in 2008 and 2010.
Okay, around the crash.
A lot of it was mortgage fraud, to be honest with you. And now it's like, we kind of talked about it earlier, applying for mortgages and the amount of stuff these banks are asking for. It wasn't like that all the time, but now they've kind of buttoned up a lot of things that they do to kind of prevent mortgage fraud. People were putting mortgages on vacant land, saying there's a $5 million house there and pulling money out of the bank, all types of crazy stuff. Man. So now it's like, they're in place to kind of protect you as a member of the public. And it's overwhelming. And I deal with it a lot with a lot of clients that, they don't want to put in the mortgage application because it's a lot of paperwork. It is. And it's like, you feel like you submit this document and then there's 20 more documents they need. Mm-hmm. And I personally have been there. I bought 2 houses, and it's annoying, and but it's there to protect you as an individual. But that experience kind of instilled me to be the person that I am. At that time, I didn't think I was going to be a realtor. I originally went to school to study poli-sci, to be an attorney, a lawyer. Wow. But now I feel like being a broker and having a company and practicing real estate is a different form of like just practicing law. To be honest with you, the more you know the law and you're more familiar with it, the more that you could use it. You could weaponize it, or you could use it to protect you or your best interest or your client's interest. And that's one thing that I hate is with a lot of realtors is they don't even understand some of these contracts that we're signing. They don't understand even negotiating timelines and different things in that aspect that I hate, because that's important when you put money on the table and you sign a legally binding contract. It's very important to know this stuff.
No, I agree. No, that's crazy. So definitely that experience.
Hopefully I didn't take it.
No, I think that was perfect, because a lot of that information I never even knew about. Like that mortgage fraud. Like, I never knew that at all. That's what's going on back then. So it makes sense now. So I'm gonna finish my application process.
Thank you.
With your
Sterling,
guys.
I got you.
Yeah, Sterling. Shout out to Certified Homes.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like, even that moment, that time. So you said that you didn't even know you was gonna be a realtor at all.
I didn't really think so. I knew I loved like architecture. I knew I loved like, I don't know. I'm a very outgoing person. I at that time, my brother was like one of the biggest recruited high school football athletes out of Broward County. And he went D1 to Iowa, and I saw all the college recruits come in. And I just thought, hey, I'm going to play football. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to do exactly what my brother did. But, he's 6'3", 275 pounds. And I'm like 5'6" and a half. A good day, 5'7". It just didn't work out, and I just needed to come up with a backup plan.
Gotcha.
But one thing is like, for me, the one thing I like to say is every experience that I have in life, whether it's good or bad, I try to imply it in my life and take a lesson out of it. So just no offers, a bunch of D2 schools and junior colleges wasn't something I wanted to do. I just kind of figured out, okay, what do I like doing? And it took a while. I was fortunate enough to find my passion. Some people out there are still looking for their passion. Yeah. And this is something I enjoy and I love every bit of it. The rushes, the lows, but I was fortunate enough to find, what my purpose is in life.
No, I love that. And just for the people that's listening in right now, these are people that, probably already started their entrepreneur journey or looking to start the entrepreneur journey. And they're still trying to figure out what their passion is or what that looks like for them. Like, can you speak to that a little bit? Like, what helped you to kind of figure out your talents, your skills, and how to put it all together to what you're doing now?
My talent, my skills, put it all together. I mean, honestly, if you're an entrepreneur and you're really just trying to figure out what it is you really want to do, at the end of the day, I would say, continue to explore, continue to grow, and just try out every avenue. I feel like there's not anything that I've never not done in my growth journey. I've worked for pet stores. What? I love animals, by the way.
That's crazy.
I love animals.
I did not know that.
I was a huge, I used to love me some
but you don't have a dog
crocodile
or nothing.
Hunter. Yeah, I'm waiting for my baby to get a little bit older, my 6th month. But I used to watch like Crocodile Hunter all the time. I used to Jeff Irwin. I grew up with all of them. And I wanted to go to Australia to go see the zoo. Steve Austin. Oh my God.
Crazy.
Love him to death. But that's what I grew up in. I wanted to be a vet. But then someone told me at a young age, like, it's more difficult to be a veterinarian than it is to be a doctor. And at a young age, you could be crazy how that would discourage a child. And I was just like, it kind of threw me. I was like, hell no, I ain't going to be a doctor. I'm fine. But I worked for pet stores. I worked for a car wash. I worked for Publix. I worked for a fish store. I've done all these different things across so many different platforms. And then I got my first opportunity I found out in college. You worked for an apartment building. You get free rent. And, we're in college, we're broke. So I was like, let me get this free rent. So I actually started my first real estate, any type of job, was a grounds guy. And I don't know if you guys know what a grounds guy is, but basically this is in college, so it's okay. It's okay. We're all poor. Listen, tell me what you need to do for me to get some free rent. I'm going to get this taken care of.
Facts.
But pretty much it was like a student housing right across the street from UCF, University of Central Florida.
Yeah.
Right across the street. They just opened up. But a grounds guy, basically, you're the first person. You wake up 5 o'clock and you walk the grounds. You pick up all the trash. You pick up everything. You take out everything. And you're basically like...
You're the trash man?
You're not even like the maintenance guy. You're like below maintenance guy.
What?
The grounds guy, you're like, I'm sorry. If there's any grounds guys out there, listen, I'm not knocking it. It's hard work,
That's what I'm saying.
You're getting up early and you're the support staff for the maintenance guy. The maintenance guys, they're certified AC techs. They're fixing the stuff, I'll fix like little stuff, patch a hole in the wall, stuff like that. Okay. But maintenance guys, you're like the support guy. Get my tools, get this. And I started there and I was like, this is too much work. I need to get in the office to do it. These leasing people. Gotcha. So I applied for a job to be in the leasing office. I got a job for a leasing office and then I worked there and I was like, I really like this. And I made a shift from student leasing to working for like in college, you'd probably call it like an adult community, all age community, where it's not like specifically for student housing.
Gotcha.
They're like 6-month leases.
Yeah.
These are based on like 12-month leases. And I did that and I just kind of grew from there. And I did that for a long time. I worked for some of the largest apartment developers, BlackRock, Greystar, ZRS. And I've just kind of really just been able to take an opportunity to learn the insides of that, being able to communicate with people, being able to talk and network. And, I was always number one anytime it came to sales in that aspect. But then I got tired of the 9 to 5. I was just like, y'all got me here on my weekends, you know. And I was doing a long distance relationship at the time with my now wife. She was my girlfriend. And she would come up on the weekends, but then I got to work on Sundays or I got to work on Saturdays.
Shout out to wifey.
Yeah, it was just grueling, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And then I went to work for a builder. And that was a whole chapter within itself. And then it kind of landed here. And it's been a lot, you know. I just didn't get here overnight, but it's been a lot, journey. You know. But it's drive, you know, and you got to stay hungry, you know, and you got to know what you want and, you know, what you bring into the world. And, you know, value yourself and don't be afraid of trying new things. That's one thing is like sometimes I might have slept on a couple couches or not had anything. Yeah. But I always allowed myself at that point in my life to be able to explore every avenue 100%. And as an entrepreneur, I would say don't be afraid. Fear could be the worst thing that you could ever have. You know, anything in life, you know, there's always going to be a good side and a bad side to it. But you have to trust yourself and dig deep and just do it 100%. You know, because it's going to be rewarding at the end of the day if you grind it out. I
love that. No, that's amazing. And it just sounds like just every job, every point of your life, you gain these skills that little by little that add up to
the greater picture.
Right.
You know, and that's the crazy part about it is everything that I've ever done, a part of it could contribute to the person that I am or to answering a certain question or to be able to better communicate with someone on a more personal level and building connections and building relationships.
I love that. Yeah, which is key.
How did you get into photography?
I mean, yeah, just it's crazy. So I started photography 6 years ago now, bro. And
did you know you always wanted to do it?
No, I think I was going to school to be a physical therapist, bro. Ooh. PT, man. Totally different things, I know. But I always was interested in branding. And I remember it was two things going on. So the first thing was my cousin. He was a music artist, you know, and he was doing music. His name is Jordan. He goes to chat sometimes back in the day. But he was doing music. And I just remember being so passionate about his music that I was like, yo, we got to get your music out there. So I was like... So I was his social media guy, and I was helping building his following base and posting content for him and just creating a bunch of content for him. And then eventually that led into me wanting to create my own brand, which was a clothing brand called Agape, which means, you know, agape for love, God's love. So I did that back in 2017. And then I realized in order to do this, I need content. And I need a camera. So
you need to get it out there.
So I purchased my first camera, which was a $400 camera from Best Buy. At the time, that was my second credit card. I put that thing on that Best Buy credit card.
We still making Best Buy payment. No,
I paid it off a couple of years ago, but it was there for a while because I was like, wait, I didn't know anything about credit or interest or anything like that.
Oh my
Bro, trust me, it was a big thing. I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I paid that off. But anyways, I bought the camera in hopes to just do quality content for the brand. And then I start working with models, and then I start, you know, at the church.
Oh, bro, back in the days, you had a camera, bro. You're it.
You're it, bro.
You're it. Growing up in South Florida, you got a camera, you are the guy.
You're the guy.
VIP, whatever you want, you're the guy.
And that's exactly what happened. So the barbershop started asking me to take photos of them, the clubs, people at church. Bro, I was like everywhere, bro. I was legit shooting everything. And then when I realized like I was actually, you know, pretty good. I mean, decent enough to, you know, people to inquire of me. I was like, yeah, I want to go full throttle with this. So along that journey, I made some great relationships, you know, that put me in the room with a lot of people that were strategic in terms of the business side that allowed me to learn a lot of tools about marketing and funnels and all these things that I never knew. And it just, you know, propelled from there. That's when I met Brittany, my amazing wife.
Hey,
and
that's it. Just that little Best Buy gift card, credit card. Bro.
It's insane.
It. We here now.
We here right now.
Thank you, Best Buy.
Yo, shout out to Best Buy. This is not sponsored by them.
But yeah, you know, we come cut the check.
Hey. But yeah, bro. So like initially, yeah, bro, I didn't initially want to be a photographer or videographer. It just ended up being that way. But I was always passionate about, you know, business and, you know, personal branding.
That's it. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, bro. So, yeah, this has been amazing so far. I kind of want to talk about like.
Sorry, I threw you off.
No, you're good. We're good. This is all good stuff. I want to talk about just like how real estate has changed your life, man. Like, let's talk about the market. Let's talk about how just real estate changed your life, bro.
Real estate changed my life.
That's my first question.
Oh my God. Real estate has definitely changed my life. You know, I mean, I've had lots of sleepless nights. But I remember one feeling it's all too familiar is dealing with people that think it's impossible to buy a house. And I remember being in that shoes is feeling like I was never capable of purchasing a house. And it's like, you kind of touched on it a little bit just a while ago when you said your first credit card. My first experience with credit ever was financing an iPhone when iPhones just came out. You know what I'm talking about? AT&T got your boy.
iPhone
ran it up on me, bro. I'm like 18, 19 years old. AT&T. Oh yeah, you're good, pre-qualified. I got my little AT&T iPhone, bro. I was like the only person at Parker High School with an iPhone.
Yo, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? But it's just coming in is just being like the proper financial education when it comes to real estate and what you're capable of doing. You know, I've worked with, you know, RNs, nurse practitioners, and I'm talking about even educated people within the community and outside of the community. You know, I don't want to keep it just, you know, it's just not being properly educated with what you're capable of doing. And my first experience was, I mean, getting into real estate, seeing how much money you could make as an employee, then a 1099 contractor, and, you know, just running it up, finding out I was going to have a kid, my first child, and just saying, yo, I have to go all out, all in, you know, chips on the table, all in, and then just kind of leveling it out from there, and then being able to buy my first investment property. Wow. And at that time, you know, I watch a lot of podcasts, you know, I do a lot of research, and I felt like for my wife or my girlfriend at that time, well, my wife at that time, it was probably best for us to buy an investment property first. You know, I didn't want to buy, you know, our white picket fence property. I wanted to buy something that give me a little bit of return. And, you know, that was an amazing journey. I almost lost my ass on that investment. Oh, wow. That was my first full renovation. Had no clue what I was doing at all. Her dad really bailed us out. He's a master carpenter, union worker in New Jersey. And he came out, framed out a lot of things for us, a lot of things done under the table. My brother-in-law, he's a master electrician, ran a lot of electrical work for us. And it's just being able to connect with a lot of your, you know, your network, your sphere of influence, your people. You know, they're seeing you trying to progress and you're trying to go somewhere with your life. They really supported us in our journey, and we got through there. We lived there, house hacked for, I think, 2 years, and then we were having our second child, and they were like, "We got to find a property." And we actually bought our house there in Boca Raton. Wow! At the worst time of the market, but I feel like if you trust and have faith, it's huge, especially as an entrepreneur. I don't know if you're religious, not religious. I think at the end of the day, whatever you want to call it, I feel like faith is a very important aspect of any business aspect that you do. Sometimes you just have to do stuff, you know, blinded and just, you know, wish for the best. Yeah. You know, and for me, I put my faith in God, you know, and I feel like he's covered me in a lot of different ways. Oh, yeah. But when it came to, you know, us buying this property, we put in 4 offers on. You know, it's a 5. We changed our real estate search. I don't know if you guys ever been looking at property and you're like, yo, I can't qualify for that. We literally started, we have 2 kids. Me and my wife, we're in a little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom duplex, like 800 square feet. Yep. We're looking at the peak of last year. Rates are low. People are just bidding us
cash
crazy.
Cash, yeah.
And I'm like, yo, all right, we can't afford a 4-bedroom. I'm like, I need a home office, but we can't get a 4-bedroom. Let's go 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a pool. All right, no, let's get rid of the pool. Let's just try to find something that could work. We want to be in Boca. We want to send our girls. We want to be in Boca. Okay. So we did all this, you know, 3 months in, nothing. And then we actually drove by this house, and when we looked it up at the first time, it was already under contract. But then it came back on market. And this house was like a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a pool. And we're like, yo, what's going on here? Submitted an offer, didn't get accepted. They went somewhere else. Yeah. Came back on the market, submitted another offer. And I think we ended up submitting like 4 different offers. Same offers. It just took them falling apart like 4 times before they finally gave us an opportunity. Yeah. I called the realtor, like, listen, I know what I'm doing. You know, I almost lost my ass on my renovation, but I know what I'm doing now. I'm experienced. Listen, we'll waive everything. We want to buy the property, but I can't give you $700. Can you take $635? We agreed for $635. The appraisal actually came in. Appraisal is basically the bank. They send out an appraiser to the property to tell you the real value, because the bank is only going to loan you money on the property based on the value. Yep. So if it's under, you got to figure it out or renegotiate. It actually came in above value. Came in at $755. And we're buying it at $635. I'm like, yo, we got equity.
You got to steal.
This is the peak of the market. I'm buying a 5-bedroom with a pool with equity. I was like, all right, let's run it. And like after that, it was just like we moved in. I did a full renovation in that house. I felt like I put a lot into that house, and I made it like everything is like my wife's dreams, my dreams. there's no reason for us to ever want to move until I get some intercoastal in my backyard, get the
Yes,
boat.
sir. Yes, sir.
But it was a very humbling experience just to being able to go through that and be able to provide something like that for my family. And all of that it's a direct contribution to real estate, and it's just working, man. Like last year was a really good year, and it's one of those things real estate you could build wealth off of it, man.
Yeah.
It's just you got to take the right steps, and you have to just do. Florida is Florida. The market's going to continue to go up.
Yeah.
And one thing that drives me crazy is people's like, how's the market? The market is always going to be the market. Unless you're an investor, how the market's doing is not really relevant to you.
Okay.
What's your purpose here for purchasing? You want to find a roof over your head? We could find you the property. Interest rates come up, they come down. It's just you got to time it right. If it's not timing, then time it when you buy it, refinancing. There's always a way, but it definitely, like right now with the rates, they just went up recently. I think they're like 7%.
7%.
I couldn't afford to buy my house right now at 7%. I locked in my house, at 3.2%, but I couldn't lock it in now at 7% on 635. Can you imagine my mortgage is like $3,700 right now at 3.25. Right now at 6.5, like bro, that's like a $7,000 mortgage.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's wild.
That's insane for the same house.
For the same exact house, just timing. It's crazy.
That is insane. So you went from your investment property.
Yes, house hack there, made a little bit of money. Airbnb, it's a great area, great market. I mean, the house was unlivable when we bought it.
Wow.
We put a lot into it, made it livable. It's amazing. We make great income there as well. It was a great play. We bought it for $360,000. It's now probably worth a little bit over $1 million.
Wow.
Our house in Boca, we bought that for $6 million. We probably put like $150,000 into it. That's probably worth about 1.5-ish is what the going rate is for a 5-bedroom in our market. But it's just timing it, And right now, honestly, with the new company, I'm trying to kind of come out of it a little bit more and focus on more investments, flips, more long-term hold scenarios, short-term holds, and just kind of build more compound interest and, educate the people around me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important, especially where we come from, is educating, our community on what they're capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing. And I come across it all too many times where a lot of people want to run before they walk or creep.
Yeah.
And I try to I don't try to tell too much people about my background.
Yeah.
But then I just came into an instance where it's like a lot of people don't know where I came from. They just think I arrived, and I didn't have that. You know what I mean? But it's like you have to be able to allow yourself to grow. No one knew me when I had my wife, myself.
Where he was the maintenance guy.
Exactly. Maintenance guy. Or even living in 800
guy.
Square feet with 2 kids.
That's insane.
We called their room a room, but that was like really just like a little space. You put bunk beds in there, and we were in 800 square feet. COVID, we was over there with a little inflatable pool in the backyard. Splash pads.
Splash pads.
You make the best of your scenario, your situation.
Yeah.
And now it's like we got a pool in our backyard, and my kids are like, oh, I don't know if I want to go in the pool.
Wow.
The little bougie little girls. I'm like, yo,
you're spoiling them now.
I'm not looking for. I just stay this age, please, because I don't got no grays yet.
Oh my gosh, bro.
But my grays are gonna come.
I see those grays coming.
Not don't play Chad. Bayesian dog, get me right.
No, that's crazy. No, that's amazing. I think that's a great reminder, even for me and my wife on our home ownership journey right now.
You're 26, bro. Buying a property, bro. That'd be huge.
Wow.
I wish I started earlier. I wish I got into this earlier. But you got to be grateful for where you are now. But being able to even purchase, even if you're not going to buy, just being able to go sit with a lender, see what the possibilities are, and get issued a pre-approval.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be the number that you want, but just being able to be capable of getting that says a lot. That's something I'm trying to learn more about is, celebrating myself. I get too caught up in the hunger, the drive, and go that I don't really take time to really just acknowledge how far I've come from the maintenance guy to where I'm at now. It's like you have to acknowledge how far you've come and be grateful, and allow yourself to be humble and appreciative for the good and the bad. Yeah. But even to be able to get that document from the mortgage lender, I think it's something you just go out and go get drinks.
No, that makes sense, and that's something that we've been talking about too, like just off camera, just how we want to really set ourselves up for the future, in terms of buying property.
Where you are now, everything that you're doing, I commend you for it. It's not just about me being here today. I've you being able to invite me out to come to Miami. I don't come to Miami, but this was a huge milestone, and I definitely want to be here to support you guys. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to take yourself outside of the lens and be like, I got to support my circle.
No, we
You know?
appreciate it. No, trust me, we super appreciate it. And we can't wait to even chat a little bit more after this. But yeah, I just want, what's next? Is there anything new, anything exciting?
Next.
What's next for Devuyo, Orbit Realty, just personally,
So
anything?
I have a very short attention span. So right now, I've been learning a lot about residential development.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be later on, not right now.
Okay.
You know, got to slowly. I am working on a project personally with one of my good friends. We're about to build 2 luxury houses.
Nice.
But that's not personal. I'm more or less like the realtor or the real estate broker on the transaction.
Yeah.
Learning about it. You know, shout out to my boy Sebastian.
Let's
you
go.
know, Josie's Italian restaurant. You know, I'm working with his parents one-on-one, and you know, we're working on a developmental project. But right now, they've built lots of properties.
Oh, wow.
Custom, amazing properties. But now I'm in the driver's seat. I identified the property. I put a deal together. We purchased it, and now I've been going through the permitting process and just been learning.
Okay.
And being able to be, you know, put myself in a position to be able to learn something from somebody else sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm looking forward to be able to, you know, instill that into my life and see what I could do with it in the future. That's kind of. But other than that, I'm just raising 3 little bad little girls in Boca, managing a brokerage, and just trying to, you know, instill the people around me how to be successful and just try to get them, you know, to be all that they can be.
No, it's amazing, bro. It's amazing to see everything you're doing and how you're wearing multiple hats and still staying sane in the process is really encouraging that we can do it as well. And no, we really appreciate who you are and what you do. And just as a friend, as a, someone in our corner, we know that you're always rooting for us and we're always rooting for you. So we appreciate you. And let the audience know, how can they find you, stay in touch,
Hey,
you know,
you
connect.
can find me Instagram, Sir_Marcelin. Facebook, you know, you have Devuyo Marcelin. Come check me out in Boca Raton, right off of North Federal. You shoot me an email, dmarcelin@orbitfl.com, and then we can set up an appointment and discuss further.
No, but this has been an amazing experience. A pleasure having you on.
Thank you guys.
Thank you everyone that's listening in. I hope you guys found this episode valuable. There was a lot of golden nuggets that I can't wait to share on social from this podcast. But if you're new to the podcast, please let us know what you want to hear next. Please leave a 5-star review on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care.